go check out Cali Connection Disc Golf.
Stay connected.
Hi, I'm Pavo Stubstad with Pure Hyzer Productions. With me today, I've got Nico LaCastro returning as my guest commentator, and we're going to give you final round coverage of the St. Patrick's Classic held at the Shady Oaks Disc Golf Course in Orangevale, California on March 13th through 15th. This was a 3-day A-tier event.
Yep, the first day was a 27-hole format, adding 10 extra holes they call the Oaks course, and Saturday was the same format with another 27 holes. And Sunday was a final 18 with the original layout.
That's right, and that's what we're going to see today. In the Shady Oaks Disc Golf Course, they have their own pro shop at the course, Final 9 Sports, with any kinds of discs available from all the major manufacturers. So if you're ever in the area, check it out. And one thing else we should mention before we get to the coverage is that Nico LaCastro was actually the St. Patrick's Day champion in 2014, last year. He, I believe, beat Nate Doss by a stroke.
Yeah, we had a battle, an epic battle down to the end, and Nate's a great player, so it was a satisfying win to get that first St. Patrick's out of the way. But this year's a whole nother story, and we're gonna get into that shortly.
That's right. Let's get to the coverage.
Let's do it.
So this is it, the St. Patrick's Classic 2015 final round lead card. Players will be following today. We've got in first place Ricky Wysocki from Fort Mill, South Carolina, 29 down, rating of 1,041.
Next we got Gregg Barsby at 27 under, local, Grass Valley, California.
Rating of 1015. Then in third place we've got James Proctor from Rohnert Park, 26 down, rating 1,018.
Fourth, Steve Rico sitting at 24 under, Sylmar, California, rating 1,026.
First hole here at Shady Oaks, 335 feet in the B pin, slightly uphill. And Ricky's first on the tee.
Looks like he's going to throw a mid-range at it. Looks like a good line.
Great shot right there. Put him 15 feet away.
Barsby looks to be throwing his fairway driver. I think it's a low eagle. Looks a little short.
A little short. He's got a circle's edge putt there. Maybe a little outside.
Proctor throwing a fairway driver, probably an H2.
Nice low shot. Gets a good skip, but he's a little left.
Say he's about 37 feet. I'd guess Rico's throwing a rival straight at it.
And that is a great shot right there. It got more of a skip than a roll than I think he was expecting, so he's a little deep.
He went on the pro side, though. He was going for that one.
Gave it a good run. James for birdie.
It's a little bit low for James. That's unlike him.
It's an uncharacteristic start. He really typically just goes for any putt very fearlessly. And here's Barsby for birdie. Just off the cage. Steve Rico after blowing by it a little bit.
Rico connects for birdie.
Rico has one of the most interesting spin putts out there. I always like watching him putt.
He's feeling good about getting the first one out of the way.
Good way to start. Ricky, a little low there, sneaks it in.
Pictures aren't on the scorecards.
And James and Gregg tap in their pars.
Couple casualties.
A little bit, yeah. It's a pretty open hole compared to most of this course. You might expect to see a few more birdies on the open lead card usually, but it is the first hole of the day. So Ricky has a 3-stroke lead now after that birdie. Hole 2 in the newly installed C placement, 338 feet in an elevated position up on a pyramid.
Looks like Rick's gonna throw a sidearm. Pretty typical for sidearm players on this hole.
Yeah, it's a lot more open if you take the sidearm Hyzer to the left.
Rico's feeling his sidearm. Looks a little high, but I rolled down the hill.
It rolled down a little ways, but yeah, that was a little short. Barsby, of course, throwing the forehand as well. He's got amazing
I'd say this is
forehand
right in
shots.
his wheelhouse. I expect him to get close.
And it looks like he did. And James Proctor doesn't have as much of a sidearm game as the rest of these guys, so he goes for the turnover backhand shot, which normally he's extremely accurate with.
He's really good at throwing his putters in mid-range, though.
Absolutely, yeah. That was probably a mid-range he threw there, I'd guess.
He's playing a smart up shot.
Yeah, you don't want to run anything like this from 100 feet away.
Especially not early in the round and give away the easy strokes.
Steve Rico going the same route. Playing smart and playing safe. And Ricky's a little past it and has a birdie look.
That's very uncharacteristic right there.
Yeah.
It's usually a gimme for Rick. Barsby sees the opportunity, takes it. He knows you left one on the first hole. Got to get it back.
And nothing's really a tap in on a hole like this. You still got to focus on the comeback par putt, even from the base. Elevated baskets are always a little trickier to putt at.
I think you just want to aim in the middle and don't show fear on any of those putts when you're close enough to make it. Might as well send it in the middle without fear.
You got to commit, exactly. And one birdie on that hole, and Gregg is 2 strokes away from the lead now. Hole 3 in the A-pin is 339 feet. There is a marked off area of OB to the left of the pin where you see it says wetland on the sign.
Looks like most of these guys are probably going to take the sidearm route. You just got to get it up high around the tree and
that clipped a tree on the left. It was hard to
it's on
see.
its way around the tree.
Yeah, it was on a decent line. It clipped a tree,
On the
dropped
back
down.
side of it.
And that was hard to see as well. Ricky hit one of the trees on the left, right where Gregg hit, so they're close together.
I'd say it plays about 350 feet, throwing sidearm around that outside route.
Probably. And Steve Rico
Sick.
with a great shot there. Should give him a look. Once again, Proctor taking the backhand approach.
I like the backhand just to make sure that you stay safe, and if you get around that tree, you usually skid down there for a putt.
Yeah, he showed you exactly how the backhand line is done on this hole. That's a Proctor backhand right there.
That was a good line.
Rick
Rick really laying out for that one.
tricky lie there, and he's there for a par. What else can you do?
Sometimes you gotta sacrifice the body to make the play.
Whatever it takes.
Big putt by Barsby on hole number 3. Kind of shows that he's really going for it today. Proctor putting the PA3.
Steve Rico gets his birdie as well. You can see the OB area there on the left, the flags marking it off. taps in his par.
Just a little disappointed knowing that he has such a powerhouse sidearm game. That could have worked out differently.
Hole 4 in the B pin is 300 feet. There's a little creek, as you can see on the sign, that zigzags back and forth, and it is OB. Barsby really yanked that one. Turned it over a little too much.
It's a really touchy line just to make it to that first gap.
Yeah, this is a very unique shot right here.
Both of those first two shots were a little lower than you would like, but they might have got up there for a long putt.
Steve's was alright. He got up there.
Stay up in the air.
And that was also a little low.
Good kick.
It's a dangerous area. There's OB right there. That's the last OB before the green.
Rick taking a sidearm skip shot.
That looks pretty
I
good.
didn't see the skip, but should have got on the green.
Out of bounds or safe? I don't know that one.
He's wondering about it.
And James was OB in the little creek you can see down there below him, the red flags. So he's putting for par.
About a 50-foot putt.
Gave it a chance. And Ricky's safe. Close to the OB, but safe. So this is for birdie. And that is a huge putt by Ricky right there.
That was a long one. Every bit of 50, 60 feet.
Yeah, I'd say so at least. Really taking the opportunity there, as Barsby was OB right next to Proctor. I guess he hit on the green side and rolled OB from there. He's there for a 4P. Ricky takes the birdie on that hole, so that gives him more of a comfortable lead again. Steve
Rico just a little bit left on that one.
James and Gregg both tap in for 4Ps after going OB. And Steve Rico taps in for par, so Ricky got the only birdie on that hole. And with that par that Steve Rico got, that moved him into a tie with James for third. Hole 5 in the B pin, 432 feet.
This one's definitely a power shot. You're not getting there throwing with only finesse. You gotta rip this one.
And Ricky sure ripped that one. That's on a good
Put it
line.
on almost a perfect shot. Oof. I think that stayed close to the basket. He'll be happy with it.
It did, yeah.
Could have went in.
If it had missed that branch, it was on an ace run for sure. That didn't quite
A
hold.
little left, but it had a lot of forward penetration.
He's probably pin high, just 50, 60 feet to the left. Maybe a little more.
That was a beautiful shot. Exactly what you want.
That was an amazing shot by Barsby, parking the 432-foot hole.
That's the kind of shots it takes to keep the lead in a big tournament like this.
Great line from Proctor as well. Just kicked off a tree on the right and actually still kept going towards the basket, so he's got a look.
I think he'll make it from there.
Steve Rico ended up to the left of the creek there. He's got a tricky shot out of the bushes. Gives it a chance. James just inside the circle.
He's usually pretty good at putting off a knee.
And that was no
Connects
exception.
for birdie. Ricky with a near ace run should be able to tap this for an easy birdie.
Great drive by Ricky.
Looks like Barsby, one up.
Even better drive from Barsby.
That was a good one.
Yes, sir,
He
it
knows it.
was.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever hit any sort of metal.
And surprisingly, Steve Rico with the only par on that hole, which par I'd normally say is not even that bad on that hole if you're going to par
3 out of
anything.
4 is pretty spectacular. It's
Yeah.
probably the only card all day to go 3 out of 4 on that hole.
Yeah. Hole 6 in the C-pin, 298 feet.
There are probably only about 20 guys in the whole tournament that could reach it.
Yeah, it's quite a rip.
This one's a skip shot that goes way left. You gotta make sure you throw an overstable disc and miss a few trees at the end.
You want to hit right about where Ricky hit there, just you got to not hit a tree on the skip.
I think a little inside works better. See if Barsby plays the route. Similar looking shot.
Come on.
It's
Little
the
too
same-
similar.
The same tree, I think. And the little creek that came into play on hole 4 also comes into play on this.
Proctor, he's a gap shooter. Smooth Hyzer game. Gets the kind of skip you need.
That was exactly it. He's over by the basket.
Rico, another gap shooter. Grew up playing Southern California. Silmar's home course. A lot of shots like this one. Didn't get the greatest skip, but he'll be looking at it. Barsby with a long throwing attempt. About 80.
80, 90, 100 feet even. It's pretty safe to run a basket like
Yeah.
this from this angle with the hill
Yeah,
behind
he
it.
must have been far because Ricky's putting from about 80 as well.
Come on.
Just off the rim.
And Steve Rico just a little high and wide. And
That was close. Looked like it was going to drop in.
I remember that shot. It was nice and calm, and the wind picked up just as he was going to putt. And then he was high right. So
Proctor hits a nice 20-footer. Slightly elevated basket.
Get to grab my phone.
which gives him the only birdie on that hole.
That's a good green. Add some character to the hole. Slightly elevated.
Yeah, it's a good looking placement. Ricky still with a comfortable lead as we move on to hole 7. In the B pin, 374 feet.
This is a really good disc golf hole. You really have to put it on a smooth line to get it all the way to the basket. Kind of a Hyzer flip up that stays flat and keeps going forward, hopefully.
Nice.
And that's the shot right there.
Look good.
Wide.
Just a pure Hyzer.
A lot of times if you saw it off too early, it gets a skip off that hill. So I think these guys are playing the right line, just hugging that right side.
Yep. It lets you Hyzer it the whole way instead of worrying about flipping it flat and controlling when it finishes.
If you try to go too straight, though, a lot of times you get caught up in those trees. Barsby made sure to keep a good amount of Hyzer on it.
They
Got
all
around
three-
the corner.
They
I
all
think he'll
three
be
hit the
inside the
line.
circle.
Yeah,
All
they-
of those. See if Rico can follow up.
Oh, you split up.
It might be the closest to the basket.
He turned around being unhappy with that shot and then
Thought he early released it, but
split the
the
gap.
disc golf gods are with him. As well as Proctor with a nice, almost a 40-footer it looked
Yeah.
like. He's a good putter. I've had the chance to play with him quite a few tournaments now, and gets it done on the putting green.
He does. And Barsby just a little wide.
Unroutine. He's been putting really good for a while.
Yeah.
For about 20 years.
And Ricky low there too.
He might have rushed it after seeing Barsby miss that.
Yeah.
Tried to put it in the basket too fast. Usually see him take a little more time than that.
And Steve Rico gets the birdie after splitting the gap between those two trees on his drive. And Ricky and Gregg tap in their pars. With that birdie, James moves up into a tie for second place with Gregg. They're both still 3 strokes behind Ricky.
Still any man's game. There's enough holes left where somebody can make a charge.
Absolutely. Hole 8 in the B pin, 257 feet. This is a very unique shot right here. You can either take the high and Hyzer line, backhand, like James is doing here, or you can throw a
Proctor's going to try to float one in there. Looked like he threw it a little soft. I remember watching this from the other angle.
Well, I'm glad you
on
were.
The next hole.
Because I totally lost that
it
one.
Just for a minute. It's all right. Learning your new camera.
That's right.
Quality footage, but
PHP's gotten an upgrade.
you'll get it figured out.
And Steve Rico just a little tight on the forehand line, and he rolled off of that bridge into the OB creek there. Ricky going the forehand line as well.
Gets a good kick.
Tiny bit too much power on that. If that had skipped a little earlier, it would have skipped all the way to the basket, I think. It was just a little deep.
I played with Barsby the round before this, and he absolutely parked it about 25 feet away. Shot just about like that one.
Something like that, yeah. That was
Looks
a
like
beautiful
he has
drive.
that one figured out. That's his game, though. He's got a strong sidearm, and he knows when to use it.
So Steve Rico's third shot here after ending up OB in that creek down there.
It's a long putt. He's making sure he don't throw out of bounds.
Yeah, that creek loops around behind the basket there, and it's OB all around it. So
See a lot of 4s on this hole. People try to get that extra distance. Easy to go out of bounds.
yeah, you can see James there didn't think twice about it, just laid up.
I hit that pole one round that Rick's standing next to, and
The other placement.
Rick sends it a little high. It's a very awkward roll.
And
It's
it's
not stopping.
rolling towards the OB.
Wind got underneath it and just kept pushing
It's
it.
one of the most bizarre rollaways I've ever seen. And you can see here he's taking his meter from the OB, but he was safe. He was just close enough to it to take relief. So this is his look for 3. He's getting a little bit frustrated.
It's hard not to with a rollaway like that. He's a strong player, though, so he'll be able to bounce back and still battle for the lead. Barsby picks up 2 on this hole. A little fist pump. He's feeling good.
And Steve Rico, after going OB, gets the 4P on that
Couple
hole.
4s on the lead card.
Yeah.
Shows that hole is no joke. Can't take it for granted. It's only about 250 feet, but sideways angle.
Yeah, it's a tough one to get to.
Gotta hit the ground and slide up there with a backhand, or get a great skip with the sidearm.
Yeah, and with the OB on 3 out of 4 sides of the hole, it is definitely
Usually
not
gotta hit a
easy.
putt. I mean, Barsby went about as close as you can get to the hole.
Yeah, and hole 9 in the B pin, 396 feet.
It's like Barsby's playing sidearm on this hole. That's a really good shot.
That's a beautiful shot.
He's feeling it this weekend.
Yeah, James threw an amazing roller there.
Do a Prodigy F7. I know he rolls with that disc. Rico's probably throwing a mongoose. Legacy mongoose.
Takes the wider roller line. Rolls right
It's a
past
really
the pin.
smooth, accurate shot.
Absolutely. Gave himself a look.
He's been throwing rollers for a long time. I think he's been playing for over a century now.
And Ricky,
So is Barsby.
and Ricky throws the roller there. I'm surprised he
Couple
didn't.
century players on the card.
Surprised he didn't go with the forehand, actually, because he's got as much of a forehand game as Barsby does to get out there with the same line.
Both of those guys have two of the best sidearms in the game.
Absolutely.
That's a fact. They're also four of the best putters in the world.
Ricky gave it a chance.
Barsby. Connection for birdie.
Beautiful.
Local crowd loves it.
James after a beautiful roller shot. Just a little high, weak side, and it doesn't stick.
The basket kind of jumped it out.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 putt.
Couple of
Stayed.
tap-ins.
Happened to jump out.
And with that birdie, that moves Gregg up into a tie for first with Ricky.
It's the first time I've ever seen a sidearm birdie come out of that hole.
Yeah, that was an incredible shot by Barsby. Hole 10 in the A-pin, 225 feet. Both placements on this hole are very short, but it is still a very tricky shot.
There's a few different routes here. Looks like he's taking the most direct up the middle with a stable mid-range. Smacks the tree, gotta miss.
There are so many trees to hit there, and the same OB Creek is right behind this basket as
Proctor.
well.
Going with his M1, I'm guessing.
That's probably correct.
Might have hit the same tree Barsby.
Yeah.
Did.
There's a lot of guardian trees along this hole.
Rico going with his overstable ghost. Legacy mid-range.
Oh my God.
Peers it.
That's a tight line.
And slides it right by the basket, and he's parked.
Textbook.
Beautiful shot by Rico.
Ricky might have thrown a
Yeah, Ricky hit an
Sinus.
early tree. Kicked left.
very
Let's see
overstable
here.
putter. Sure, it was on a line to get to the basket. Just it's a tricky hole. A few trees you gotta miss.
Barsby doesn't really have a good look at birdie either, so they should still be tied unless he can hit another huge putt. And he goes for it. He's there for
Kind of a
three.
safety play. He didn't
Yeah.
run it as hard as he wanted to. It's hard to have 100% commitment when there's OB less than
Yeah.
10 feet behind the
Well,
basket.
he played it smart. I mean, he stayed safe and he got his par.
It's like a game of chess. Sometimes you just gotta know the next move, and he knows he still has a chance. He's in it. It's like a battle for first and second between Ricky and Gregg.
Definitely a couple
But
of pars
James
there.
isn't too far back.
Yeah, only a couple strokes behind them, and Steve Rico with that birdie now only 2 strokes
That
behind
could
James.
be one hole, especially on this course. Every other hole has stringed OB and
Oh,
turned
yeah.
a 2 into a 4.
Hole 11 in the A-pin, 274 feet. Another one that's going
My
to
guess
favor
is
the
force
sidearm shots.
sidearms.
Yes. Great shot.
See a little wind in the afternoon rounds.
Yeah, it was breezy on and off for this round.
This is Barsby's kind of course. A lot of sidearms, a lot of park jobs.
And as you were saying, this forces the sidearm, and it sure does, because Proctor won't throw a sidearm unless there's really no other smart option.
Yeah, right out of the gap. You just want to throw a flex shot. It's about 260 feet.
Yep,
So
274.
close. It's a respectable shot. A little bit long, though.
Yeah, he's a
Might
little
have a
past it.
challenging putt.
There's a lot of trees past it there, as you can see.
See what Proctor's got from 40-ish. Just a little low.
Yeah, and Ricky's got a lot in between him and the basket now. He clipped that tree a little bit on the way. I don't know really how much of a look he actually had.
Barsby wants a birdie. He gets his birdie.
Give me that.
Just feeling the love from the hometown, local crowd. There's a lot of friendly guys out here, so I'm sure they just want to see good golf.
And with that birdie, Barsby is now in first place on his own.
Takes the solo lead at 32 under.
Hole 12 in the B pin, 279 feet. Kind of a tricky downhill shot as the downhill continues past the basket for a little ways into another little OB creek, I believe.
Yeah, it's a hole you probably want to throw a putter on just to make sure you don't go too long. I like throwing a smooth Hyzer on the right-hand side and then just letting it fade left. You won't see these guys power up on this shot.
He went a little
About pin
past
high.
it. Yeah, but he's good.
Barsby's taking a fairway driver at it. His Firebird he's got tuned in. Crowd likes it. Proctor throwing an overstable PA1, I think. He missed the trees. He's on the green. Wysocki throwing the overstable sinus.
Gave it a good run. And you can see a little gallery starting to build up at this point. This is one of the bigger events in Northern California.
Just a little over 25 feet.
Proctor gets
It's a
the
good birdie. It's a little windy. Steve gets a spit out there.
Yeah,
That was in and out. We need to put more chains on the baskets.
a lot of the newer ones do have more chains.
Saki gets his birdie after missing the last couple. Barsby stringing them. A couple in a row.
Couple of birdies at the top, and Barsby's still got that one-stroke lead.
Over 30 under for the weekend. That's pretty good shooting, though.
With all the OB at this course, definitely. Hole 13 in the B pin, 371 feet. Pretty straightforward uphill shot. Probably plays close to 400.
Barsby looks a little left, but it's straightened out.
Yeah,
I think he's going to like it.
angle of the hill there really pushed him in the right direction, and he does have a look.
All of these guys can throw the Frisbee really straight, so I'd expect them to have a look for birdie. Proctor has a lot of commitment on his shots. I noticed that he's definitely more favorable for a power shot.
Absolutely, yeah.
But he's got a good touch game.
This game's getting more well-rounded every day.
This guy's got all the shots. He's won some big tournaments in the past, and he's got a chance to win this one. Throwing shots like that.
Absolutely parks it. Puts the pressure
there.
on Gregg for his putt.
Barsby's putting like he did the day before when I played with him. This is going to be an easy putt for him. He made about 4 putts over 60 or 70 feet the round before this one.
Wow.
He was on fire.
And Rico gave that a chance from in there in the bush. He didn't really have much of a look.
Proctor putting with the shark.
He's got such a smooth form on his
It's a
putt.
Polynesian shark, the stamp he has. Not an actual shark. He got a PA3. He likes those putters. Barsby with the wizard. Cashing putts.
Ricky with the park job.
Putting with a dagger. Rico. Tapping in the clutch for 3.
And we've seen a lot of almost star frames now, but we still haven't seen one.
Surprising.
It is, especially with only 4 people on a card, too. And hole 14 in the A pin, 284 feet.
These holes are technical, so there's a lot of trees you have to miss to get the birdie.
Absolutely. On this one, a lot of trees, and again, that same OB creek, you cross it twice, once right before the hole.
This is a hole you have to have speed control because the basket's on a side hill and there's OB right before you get there, so the best thing you could do is aim a little bit long. Better to play it left is what I've noticed because you get that kind of skip that penetrates forward.
Yep. Barsby got caught up in the bushes on the left of the fairway.
Threw that one a little right, but it kicks right under the basket.
Ricky parks it.
Looks like he threw a putter. Beautiful line, almost hit the lock.
Yeah.
Hit the bottom of the basket. CTP.
Barsby, the only one who hit something on his drive, giving it a chance. Off the number
He
plate.
almost had that one.
Yeah, well, he knows Ricky's there, parked for a 2.
Way to run it. Proctor getting that putt figured out. Missed some early in the round, but he's getting them now.
Steve Rico
Rico gets his birdie.
hitting the base of the basket on
Putter
his
off the
drive.
tee pad, a putter tap in. He knows he left a couple early in the round. He'd like another swing at it. I think he's won there, probably
Yep.
multiple times.
And
I've only played 2 St. Patrick's Classic. I'm lucky I got that first one out of the way. It's a tough tournament to win, it really is.
And Ricky with that birdie is now tied for the lead with Gregg again. Hole 15 in the A pin, 336 feet.
I could say openly that Northern California is one of the hardest places to win a disc golf tournament. If you're a C tier, a B tier, A tier, it doesn't matter. Someone's going to show up and there's always players that are gaming.
There's a lot of good players in this area.
Especially right now. This is one of the best up-and-comers in the whole nation. And I've been impressed by his game on multiple occasions. He almost ran me down at a tournament in Monterey early in the year. He put on a performance on the putting green. One to be remembered. He gave me a good beating at this tournament, though, so, you know, every dog has their day. Everybody has their day where it's connecting, and we're going to see the champion soon.
There you go. That boy.
And That's a pretty smart play from Rico there. The
It
OB is to the left and short and deep of the basket, so he played it to the one side where there's not OB.
Barsby throws an excellent line. It's a beautiful shot.
A little deep
Straight
right.
down the middle and right on the green.
He's got to look.
He's feeling good. He's played this course a lot of times, and I think a lot of people were out there supporting Gregg at this tournament.
And James with a good layup there from that distance. You just want to play it safe, especially on this one with the OB.
Ricky on a really fast-paced putt. He's about an inch away from going in.
And
Really
that's
dancing around.
OB if it had
About as
fallen
much
off of
movement
that.
as you can get on the disc.
Yep. Barsby for birdie.
It's a great putt, little fist pump, showing the crowd some love.
He's starting to get
He's in
excited.
a good place
Yeah,
right now.
in the zone.
Had a confident putting stroke.
That's a good birdie from Rico, the way he played
Absolutely.
the hole. Really smart play.
It's rare to see multiple birdies on this hole. Everybody loves Rico. He's been playing this tournament for a long time. Same as Barsby. I'd like to know which one of them's played more
St. Patty.
St. Patty's events.
Coming down
See,
to
you
the...
get a lot of young kids out there in Orangevale. Starting to produce some talent.
And with that birdie, Gregg is in first place again with 3 holes to go.
There was a young kid I seen on the practice putting green, and he was less than 15 years old, and he was keeping up with everybody. He was standing right next to the best putters in the world and giving them a run for their money.
A lot of up-and-comers. Hole 16 in the A-pin, 291 feet.
Barsby really trusting this flick down the middle.
Gives
It's
it
a
a
great
good
place
run.
to be.
Yeah, he's just
Cast the basket within 25 feet. Legacy disc, probably a rival,
low
or
straight.
maybe the Patriot. That was on an ace run.
It was. It hit the one tree between him and the basket on that straight line.
Proctor's going to throw his orange M3. Good looking throw. Parks it.
Yep, beautiful shot.
It's one of my favorite holes on the course. Just have to throw a pure line.
And that is
Taking
a
his
pure
mid-range mace on a straight ahead throw. Rico from downtown gives it a strong run.
line. Yeah, good run. The right height, just a little to the right side.
Barsby looks focused.
No
He gets what he's looking for. Taking a big sigh of relief.
Yep. Well, Ricky was parked for the birdie there, so he had to hit that to keep his one-stroke lead.
That's big to keep the momentum in the round, because as soon as somebody gets a stroke, sometimes it's hard to get it back. And you only have a couple holes left.
Yeah, this is coming right down to the wire.
It's important to keep the lead.
And Ricky with his park job.
Those are crucial moments in the round. It's a battle. Wysocki and Barsby.
2
One
holes to
stroke
go.
separates the 2015 champion.
Hole 17, C-pin, 420 feet, the longest placement on this hole. And it's even uphill, too, for the first half of the fairway.
Throwing his roller.
It's going.
That was a good shot.
Yeah. That's giving him a little
Down
bit
the
of look.
stretch,
Yeah.
on the green of a 420-foot hole. Got to hit the gap, too, just to get a look. Proctor taking an air shot. Really rips into it. Gets every piece of it. Past the basket in the air.
420 uphill. He blows by it with an air shot.
It's got a lot of power.
Ricky's roller did not stand up as quick as he needed it.
Caught the tree. Had a lot of power.
Yeah.
Rico's going to roll his white mongoose.
It clipped something, but it kept going.
Short of OB.
Just short of the OB. That's better than rolling a little more. Ricky trying to get out of the trees here.
Looked like he had a tough angle on the upshot.
Yeah.
Might have got caught in some thick grass.
Yeah, it was a tough spot.
Rico, probably a 100-foot jump putt. Puts it right there.
Ricky, after his upshot being low.
This would be a big putt. Blows by it a little bit.
There's Barsby's long birdie look.
You can see the wind blowing, hear it. He's making sure he doesn't blow a stroke.
He's playing smart at this point. I mean, he saw what was happening to Ricky, and he's just making sure he doesn't.
It's a smart
bogey.
play. Don't want to give it away down the stretch.
And I was surprised to see James miss that putt.
He takes it well, though. He's a great sportsman.
Yeah.
He's always got a smile on his face. James is in college right now. He does the collegiate disc golf, and he looks forward to those big collegiate events so he can mop them up, really. I'd say he's the best collegiate player in the country by far, but I know there's a lot of other talent.
And with that par and Ricky's bogey, Barsby now has a 2-stroke lead going into hole 18, which is in the C-pin, 323 feet.
Proctor was telling me it's easy for him to keep a smile on his face because he's so busy with school all the time that this is it's like a big break and relief every time he gets on the course.
Oh yeah, he's always got a great attitude. He's
Absolutely.
a fun player to play around with.
He's one of the best in the whole country. Barsby throws a direct line. He's right where you want to be.
Yep. Worry-free now.
Yeah, after your sidearm misses that tree, it usually gets a skip. Proctor, mid-range,
It's
a little bit low.
Yeah.
Rico lining up his sidearm. See if he could get it any closer than Barsby. People were razzing him, but it's not messing with him. Very close to acing the hole.
Almost a skip ace after cars were honking at the worst moment.
Yeah, that was karma. They were trying to mess with him. His karma was too powerful. He's a good guy.
Get in the basket! That might be.
Enthusiastic spectators.
That was hot.
Ricky still had a lot of life left in him. He wanted that one. Almost aced it on the last hole. They're doing a wave. This is the Barsby wave.
A little? You're being generous.
Coming down the fairway on the 18th hole.
Sherry, she's always happy. Team Mom.
Ames with a long birdie look. Give it a chance.
Gives it a good run.
Yeah.
Crowd's gonna erupt if he makes it.
Good finish for Steve. Ace ran the last hole and got the birdie. Ricky finishes on a
Gets a birdie, finishes in second, put in a good run. They had a battle.
Yep.
That's all you could ask for sometimes. I'm playing with some of the best in the world. It's any man's day. But today, Gregg Barsby has crowned his first 2015 championship A-tier for the win. He's going to win anyway, but it's nice to look good on the last hole. Probably one of his best feelings in 2015.
Gregg Barsby, 2015 St. Patrick's Classic champion. So the final results for the weekend are Gregg Barsby at 37 down after 72 holes, Ricky Wysocki 35, James Proctor 33, and Steve Rico 31 down. And here you see the PDGA results. You can see Gregg didn't have the hottest start on Friday, but really picked it up on Saturday and Sunday with 1057 and 1059 rounds to finish out the tournament. It's a victory to remember.
After watching the 2015 epic battle at the St. Patrick's Classic, it looked like Gregg Barsby was crowned champion and got his first A-tier 2015.
Yeah, he certainly was. It was an amazing round he put together. I think Ricky started that round with a 2-stroke lead. He had a 3-stroke lead after the first hole, but Barsby just kept pushing and kept hitting the birdies on the harder holes that other players weren't birdieing, and
they made it a battle. There was some really excellent golf out there played by each one of the players on the lead card.
yeah, I believe throughout the round, Barsby took the lead over Ricky once, and Ricky got back in the lead, and then Barsby got back in the lead again near the end, and it was a fun battle.
It really looked like Barsby just had a little more fire than the other competition, and he had the drive it takes to become champion in a big tournament. You could just see it. He was just pound for pound. He was matching every shot on the course, and he made some clutch putts in the finals.
Yeah, he certainly did string together a quality round. I think he only had one bogey going OB on hole 4, and you know, when it's one bogey from an OB, that's not as bad. And every other hole, really, he never missed any easy putts. He just stayed focused the whole time.
Yeah, it looked like he took advantage of a couple key turning points in the round when he had the chance to take the lead. It looked like he grabbed it, and he definitely just had that look of confidence on the putting green.
Confidence and determination, and
He was putting with a wizard, so he was making a lot of putts out there.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Pure Hyzer Productions. Please remember to subscribe for more quality disc golf tournament coverage.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on the show tonight. It was nice to do the commentating with you again. I'd love to do it again in the future. So until next time.
Always a pleasure to have you on, Nico.
Thanks a lot.
And with that, we'll take a look at the highlights.
First up in the highlights, Steve Rico's birdie putt.
On the first hole of the day, Rico's connecting.
Misses
Just
the
enough
chance, hits
to get
weak
his
side,
birdie.
but got in the basket.
Barsby hits a huge putt on hole number 3. Running it down. Running down his open title. 2015 St. Patrick's champion. Runner-up, Ricky Wysocki. Beautiful putt.
Huge putt on hole 4. I'd
on
say
the edge of the creek.
probably the biggest putt of the round from any player. And Ricky's drive on the next hole, hole 5.
So many talented players in the game of disc golf right now. It's really special just to be a part of it and be able to compete with the world's greatest.
And he just, on an ace run line, hits that branch, but gets a good roll towards the basket still, and it just leans up on that tree.
He might have hit metal if he missed the tree.
If he missed that branch.
It was on a direct line straight towards the basket.
And
This might have been the best shot of the round.
Barsby corrects on Ricky's line just a tiny bit lower to miss that branch. Great S-curve. Hyzer's back right at the end.
Nice camera work.
And he hits the pole. Nice camera
See
work.
dust flying in the background. Camera's so nice.
That's either nice camera work or nice camera.
Got to give Proctor his props here. This was on the edge of the circle, and he's one of the best knee putters in the world.
You know, I've played this weekly putting league with him a number of times, and it's all these different putting stations with obstacles, and some of them force kneeling putts. So
Watch Proctor put on putting displays weekly.
Yeah, just come and win it every week.
This is the one Proctor throws a smooth Hyzer and gets a great skip off the dirt. It's a hard surface. It's kind of made for a skip shot, that particular hole.
You know, Shady Oaks here really is made a lot for skip shots. A lot of the holes you have to learn to play the skip. And there's Proctor getting the only birdie on that hole. And Steve Rico's drive on hole 7.
Field goal coming up.
And you can see he releases
Watch closely.
left. He's not happy about it. He turns his back in disgust. And
Straight towards the basket.
it just hits that disc and a half wide gap and gives him an easy birdie.
I bet he's not the only person to ever hit that gap. Course gets a lot of traction.
James Proctor, roller on hole 9. Takes the inside line.
Yeah, no wonder he got so close. Took the extra skilled route
Yep.
to park himself close to the hole.
Gregg Barsby putting on hole 9.
With a huge sidearm birdie.
After Ricky missing his putt, this put Gregg in a tie for first with him. Started to pick up momentum.
It's really just Barsby's weekend. It was just no stopping him. He just went into animal mode, and he wanted it more than any other guy on the course. And that's what it takes to win.
Steve Rico's drive on 10 hits the gap and slides up right under the basket, just short of the OB.
It's a beautiful throw. Looks like these guys just made it easy for you.
Yeah,
easy
they did.
filming. Just watch them release and go straight to the basket.
Yeah, it's easier to film when nobody's making mistakes, for sure. And with that park job on hole 11 there for Barsby, that's when he took the lead over Ricky. Ricky, line drive on hole 13.
You're not kidding. Don't get much straighter than that.
Parked.
I like that hole. Let you just open up on a fairway driver. Give it a full power shot.
Yep. It's nice to have a few holes like that, for sure, and Shady has such a nice variety.
It does.
And this is Steve Rico's drive on hole 14.
Good camera work again. Just catching the full flight.
Thank you.
Can't even see the dirt move at the end. Dirt cloud. Park job. Crucial putt for Barsby. Down the stretch of the tournament. He knows it's in.
He knew it was in before he even set up to putt. On that putt, I was standing across from him and he told me, "Come over here, get this from a good angle."
Yeah, sometimes it's hard for me to take these tournaments that I don't play my best and look back and always wish I would have been up there at the top, but I recognize that Barsby is one of the best in the game and he's put in a lot of time and played this course many of years, and he's a good guy. He deserves to win.
And there's him putting in another one of the crucial putts near the end of the round to maintain his one-stroke lead over Ricky going into hole 17.
Barsby's got a lot of enthusiasm for the game of disc golf, and if you had a camera on him for long enough, you'd catch some million-dollar smiles and lots of good energy vibrating off the guy. He put on a good show in 2015 at the St. Patrick's Open.
James Proctor's drive on 17 there, out-driving the basket on an air shot.
I think if Proctor got out there on tour all the way out of the state of California, he'd be a force to be reckoned with across the nation and even across the world. I'd like to see what he's capable of in 2016 if he could finish up school and get out on tour for an extended period of time.
Absolutely.
He'd be on the leaderboards.
I have
You'd
no
see
doubt.
him on the leaderboards. Guarantee it.
And after Steve Rico's ace run, we're going to see Gregg Barsby's winning
Barsby
putt.
for the win.
Yeah, Gregg.
special feeling. Get his first St. Patrick's Open. I know what it's like, and it's great, satisfying, victorious.
Yep.
Nothing can take that feeling away.
Absolutely.
It's a lasting memory in time. Look at that smile. Can't hide it. It's over. You did it, buddy. Good job, Proctor, showing him some love. It's Patrick Brown sporting some Fly Life gear.
And now we'll take a look at the awards ceremony.
Next up, Matt Bell. Fifth place.
Thank you, everybody. And thank Latitude.
In fourth place, like to see Steve Rico.
Just want to thank Bruce and Jenny, the staff. Did a great job year after year. Just continue to support the shop and the club. Thank you.
In third place, open, James Proctor. James.
I just want to thank my wonder girlfriend Annie for caddying for me this weekend. I thank Prodigy, Fly Life, So Fly, Underrated Disc Golf. Thank you guys.
Second place, open, Richard Wysocki.
Yeah, I just want to thank all the spotters out there for all the extra holes, helping find the discs and all that stuff. And thanks Final Nine and Bruce, like everyone else said. Thanks for running a great tournament and great job in Barsby. And I want to thank my new sponsor, Latitude 64.
Now, first place, Pro Open, Gregg Barsby.
Okay. Hats off to all the players and competitors. Final Nine for always being behind me, 100%. My caddy Dale, great job. And my parents came out to watch today, so that was awesome too. I want to thank all the supporters and everybody that came to watch. It means a lot. It's been a while. I think since juniors or I know Josh would have given a good run, so we'll be back next year. Thanks.
You deserve it, man. Good job.
Yeah, buddy. Finally got this one. It's been like, I think I played this tournament like 12 times. Booyah.